my friends, and welcome back to the rabbit hole, and welcome finally to another skincare empties video. I don't know what happened, but it seems I misplaced some time in my life, and now I have a very big empties to share with you all today. In case you are new or stumbling upon this channel, my skin type is dry, acne prone, and a bit sensitive, and I do have timestamps and links to everything in the description box below, plus a little bit of a blurb on what my empties are all about. But I'm so happy that I can finally tell you I no longer need to stress myself about some of the products that are missing from my empties videos, because I just completed part 1 of the Best Value series, and that includes some of my absolute must-haves. My adapalene that seems to last me a year, my Regelica Essence, my benzoyl peroxide cleanser. I'm so happy I can now reference that because it's just always been something I've worried about in my empties videos is, you know, even though I have that blurb, do people still look at my empties and think that represents everything? And it just doesn't. Empties are a world of their own. I also thought it might be fun if we kind of play favorites in this video. Everybody loves to see it. Everybody loves to see creators pick a favorite product, and so few do it. Because, you know, you don't want to hurt future collaborations and whatnot. I'm old and I'm tired, and I just don't care anymore. I don't care if brands like me or don't want to work with me. I don't have time to work with any brands right now, to just be blunt with you. So let's do it. Let's play some favorites. I think it should be fun for everyone. Let's jump into our first category, which is cleanser. I finally finished the Peach and Lily Ginger Melt Oil Cleanser. I really enjoyed this. It's just a really well-made cleanser. It's one of those cleansing oils that thoroughly comes off your skin. You know, some feel like they leave behind a film, some burn and sting your eyes, and this was just pretty much as close to perfect as you can get. I guess the one con would be that it has been a little bit more expensive than some of the K-Beauty brand options, but that might be changing. It's hard to say what prices are going to be in the upcoming months. I have a couple of second step cleansers for this video. The Current State of Skin Strawberry and Probiotic Balancing Gel Cleanser, and the Ever Kids Multivitamin Face Wash. I wanted to group these together because I alone did not finish these. It was actually my partner who fell in love with, honestly, both of these products. And I get it, I enjoyed both of them too. The Current State of Mind, I think this brand is the sister brand of Holy Frog. This is super gentle. The Ever is also incredibly gentle, you know, stuff that's made for kids. We can use it too. My partner asked me to buy more of both of these, and I told her, I said, we've just got to start finishing some of these other cleansers that we have. I need you to find something else. She did. Now she's got a very expensive one, and I don't even think she knows it. These are both more on the affordable side. And these, I want to talk about these. It's so ironic that I'm talking about them today. This is the Speedy Mascara Remover, and this is the Florte Love Soufflé Makeup Remover, and both of these are mascara removers. You apply, it looks like you're applying mascara. You put it where you wore your mascara and then let it sit for a few minutes and it melts your mascara off. I fell in love with these kind of products for, I think, about 2 solid years, and there is something that has changed that has made it so I don't think I'll be buying these anymore. Do you know what it is? Tubing mascara. Thanks to tubing mascara, I don't have to wrestle with getting my mascara off anymore. And I'm saying it's so funny that I say this today because this is the first time I applied a non-tubing mascara in ages. I'm trying to do a Sephora collection review before the Sephora sale goes live. So it'll be interesting to remind myself that now mascara removal is going to be a lot more difficult tonight than I'd gotten used to. Side note, if you are interested, my absolute favorite mascara is one that I got in PR from Buxom, the Lash Extension Lift Mascara. It's a dry feeling tubing mascara, and that's what it took to get me fully on board. I've always liked drier formulas of mascara, and tubing formulas always were kind of more wet. Finally, Buxom came out with the dry formula, and I'm there, I love it. It's funny that it's a surprisingly small toner section for this video because, well, we have a lot of moisturizer, let me tell you. But for our toner and essence, probably to nobody's surprise because I did do a 2-month review of Numbuzzin', I finished off the Vitamin Niacinamide Concentrated Pad, the 5+. I don't think I'll repurchase this. The pads are just never my personal favorite. I am Team Mist, so I finished my Axis Y Dark Spot Correcting Glow Toner. This was really nice, but I've just gotta say, Access Y likes to call a lot of their products the dark spot correcting, and I don't think that the products really address dark spots. You know, hyperpigmentation is just so difficult to treat that I just always feel like I wish Access Y would name their products a little differently. I think people would love them more, because this is such a nice, gentle, brightening 5% niacinamide toner, but I don't think 5% niacinamide, at least for me, is enough for some of the dark spots or hyperpigmentation that I've experienced. Hyperpigmentation is ridiculously hard to treat, so even though it's a great product, I wish it was called the brightening toner instead. Right, brightening means something so different from dark spot correcting, at least in my head. And I finished one essence that I'm so excited about, the Sorrow de Rue and Gothamista Essence. This was sent over from a lovely subscriber, and I have to admit I loved it. Of course I did. I love ginseng and everything related to it. 62% enhanced black ginseng water. It is absolutely beautiful to use this. She says it's for brightening, skin immunity boosting. I absolutely felt like my skin thrived while I used this. The only catch for me is that if you made me choose between this and the Regelica Essence, I would choose the Regelica, because with this being 3.38 fluid ounces, the Regelica is 5.4. The Regelica lasts longer. But let me tell you, both of those really were wonderful products. It's actually funny to think about how different all three of the toner essence products that I have in this Empties really are. They're all different. Do I have a favorite? I guess I would just have to say the Access Y, simply because at some point in your skincare journey, you discover the methods that you like, and I've got to say, using a lovely fine mist, it is just up there for me among my absolute favorites, and this is so affordable. I have a lot of serums in today's video because I went through my collection and discovered that some products had gone bad. So let me just show you what I'm trashing, unfortunately. This one is so disturbing. It keeps coming out looking like a person praying. This is probably cloud painting, isn't it? But doesn't that look disturbing? Oh. Or why is it gelatinous? I actually feel like I need to add a warning of how gross this is. This isn't that old. That's what's so funny about this. This is the Elemis Dynamic Resurfacing Super C Serum. They sent it over, and not that long ago. But I have noticed sodium ascorbyl phosphate, that's my favorite vitamin C derivative, but it does this. It does actually go bad. I will say, as a bit of a disclaimer, this may not happen to everyone. I do keep my house warm because I still have lizards. And I do have some C Firma, which will be perfect to compare. I had opened this up. Look, it's nasty. I had opened this up for my partner because she took quite the tumble and had a scar on her stomach. And this definitely did help. But it just never lasts. You see all that? Isn't that bizarre? It actually was nice to have this around, though, because Drunk Elephant gives you it in 2 separate parts. I hadn't ever bothered to mix it. They had sent it over, but I never mixed it. And so when she fell and I saw the scar, I realized, oh, now's the perfect time to open this. So I do like that you can actually kind of stock up on this product. Just don't mix it until you're going to use it. I did finish this one from Dermalogica, the Biolumin C Night Restore, but I finished it on my chest area. It was one that I was sent in PR, and I was just worried about it going bad. You know, I always feel like I end up with a drop left when doing these Empties videos. Oh well. It does have fragrance, it does have some essential oils, so I was only comfortable using it here. I feel like I was happy with it, but I wouldn't spend the money again when, again, brands like Geek and Gorgeous exist. And here's actually my favorite of the expensive vitamin C's. I did finish this that I bought during the 10X event at Ulta, the C-Luma Hydra Bright Serum. It is true if you are also a sodium ascorbyl phosphate fan like I am. And real quickly, that's the vitamin C derivative that has research showing that it may not only help with brightening as other forms of vitamin C do, but also may help with fighting acne. In a particular study, the results compared to using benzoyl peroxide topically without the irritation associated with benzoyl peroxide. So I really do like sodium ascorbyl phosphate. They have it at 9% in here, plus some ascorbyl glucoside. You know, maybe I should have repurchased this. Maybe I will, because I've gone without for a while now. This was actually one of the first things to go in my empties, and you are about to see how much of a struggle I've been having with acne. So maybe I need to return to more sodium ascorbyl phosphate. It is in my Regelica Essence, but I don't know how much is in there. And it's always nice to have a disclosed level like Drunk Elephant does. I'm not saying you have to buy Drunk Elephant. I know some people don't like this brand, but I like knowing that there's 9% in here, because then I can look at the literature and say, oh, in that study I was just telling you about, they used a 5% level. So yeah, I don't know. I have some minis of this that I got in some gift with purchase from Ulta. As I sit here with some breakouts on me right now, I'm going to do that. I'm going to break into those minis, and we'll see if I really should go back to sodium ascorbyl phosphate every day at standardized levels. And one more empty serum. I bought the Skin Diva 20% argireline with matrixyl, and I gotta say I really like it. You know, again, argireline is that quote-unquote Botox in a bottle, but I'm tired of talking about it like that. The peptide argireline and Botox actually share some similarities, but there's a very big difference between injecting things and putting them on your skin topically. Nonetheless, we know that peptides act as humectants, and for that reason, I'm on board with them. I just like to keep my price lower. And Skin Diva is another one of these more affordable brands. As of right now, I return to the Ordinary's argireline. I want to kind of do a comparison, see if we have a best argireline / other peptides option on the market for coming up on winter of 2025. Can you even believe it? Here's the section of this empties that is just looking so obnoxious. I have so much moisturizer and it's all in jars, and it was just taking up a ton of space, and I said, let's finish off these products. Alpenbeauty, this is the old packaging, my very last Triple C Brightening Bounce Cream. To this day, I love Alpen for their textures and their sustainability, but listen, groceries are expensive for me, and I just feel like it's been really eating into my skincare budget, even though I make content. And it's so hard to justify the prices on some of these products now, at least without some kind of 10x promotion. So come to Ulta, Alpen. Same with Laneige, the Waterbank Blue Hyaluronic Cream Moisturizer. This is another one that was sent to me. You know, I like this, but it's so scented. I think there's a new version out now. I'll have to see if it's as scented as this one, but Laneige reformulates all the time. This one has to be the saddest story of all, and it's something that is so bizarre and so uniquely 2025. So Joa, the brand that was at CVS, the brand that I once called the brand that had my absolute favorite eyebrow pencil. Towards the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, they started sending out PR. One of those was this moisturizer. This moisturizer was so beautiful. It has that texture like the Metapeel neck cream, very stringy. They sent out all this PR, and I remember getting this in and being so excited to share it. So I wrote them, and I'm saying, where are your products? Where can people buy them? And they were going, oh, we don't know where it's going to be available for sale. How did you just send out a bunch of PR, but you don't know where people can... What is happening? And lo and behold, a few months later, they went out of business. It's exactly the same thing that happened with Amicol. I hope I'm saying that brand correctly. They sent me one of their lip balms or lip oils. And I swear, 1 week later, the announcement is that they're going out of business. I feel like these brands are really trying, but almost too late, or the writing is already on the wall. Something is happening. A lot of small businesses are struggling with tariffs. Let's just be honest about that. That is very much a thing, and I think that might be what happened to both of these companies. But it's so sad because I would love to repurchase this, and I was just never able to. I was never able to. I also finished the Chogongjin Yungin Overnight Cream. Really enjoyed this. This brand is so luxurious if you don't want to spend a lot of money. They are based on hanbang, kind of think Suisu, but much more affordable. Very much fragrance though, very much fragrance, so I think that I am actually going to pick a favorite moisturizer from this entire section, a night cream option that is affordable. The Versed Sweet Relief Overnight Barrier Balm. Oh, this is such a good moisturizer. This is honestly not a complicated product. It doesn't even necessarily seem like it's going to be all that elegant as you first start applying it, but I swear every night where I finish my routine with the Sweet Relief, I really do actually get sweet relief. Sometimes I think the best thing to do is use an effective cleanser, use a tried and true like a Dappling, and then seal it all in with a very good overnight moisturizer. And there you go. You kind of got a perfect night routine, you know? It has been summer over here, including today in October. It's still summer here in Florida, it turns out. So we have a lot of sunscreen. I finished off both of the Bioris that I had bought from Yesstyle. This came in a 2-pack. It was so convenient. This is not my favorite sunscreen. It's kind of shiny, and I just don't love looking overly shiny. But for convenience, I just feel like this couldn't be beat. I just had it in my bag when I finished the first one, switched the pump over to the other one. That was through Yesstyle. I think I might try to reorder that. I don't know how it's gonna go. You know what I'm talking about. I also finished a stick sunscreen. This was gifted by Stylovana a while ago with the Dewy Tree Urban Shade Cool Calming Sun Stick. I actually kind of ended up using this more on my body. I didn't love the menthol aspect of it, and also when I started getting low, I just dug in it. And desperate times. Look, desperate, hot times in Florida call for desperate measures, okay? What I did use on my face is this sunscreen, which is always awkward for me to reply about in the comments. It's such a good Japanese sunscreen, no fragrance, no alcohol, super gentle. This is another one that is really good when my skin is irritated. It's probably just under my Purito. I didn't actually love the APLB Retinol Vitamin C sunscreen. This one seemed to irritate me just a little bit. I'm not sure why. And my newest one, this was sent by Stylovana. This is the UV Sun Pro Sun Fluid. It's a waterproof, we should say water resistant sunscreen. This was actually surprisingly nice. It came in a 2-pack, and I'm still working through the bigger bottle of this, so I might end up reporting back with this being actually quite a winner for me. I have a surprising amount of lip balms. I guess we're just finally catching up. It's almost as if I have a little bit of everything. Kopari's Lip Glossy has been a favorite for so long, but I just have to admit, Edam's lip balm has gone and done it. This is my new favorite. Look, I keep using this all the time, and I've barely made a dent in it because it's huge, and it stays on your lips, and it's super moisturizing. So now everything has to be compared to Edam, and that does include Ole Henriksen. You know, the flavors and the colors are nice with this brand, but you're also fighting with this beautiful heavy metal tip. It is actually hard to go back to this, let me tell you. Although this does smell good. That's the strawberry sorbet flavor. Naturium, the Phyto Glow Lip Balm. It's so funny to think about how there was a short window of time where I bought from this brand. It was after Susan sold the brand and before e.l.f. decided to do the Matt Rife thing. And while I did finish off one of these, it was alright. I just would not put it in any of my favorites. Now, I will say, the Summer Fridays and Ole Henriksen, I understand why both of these are so popular. It's the scent, it's the taste, it's that they're kind of fun. But I don't ever think I would buy a full size because the Edam is just that much better. However, I'm going to be honest with you that in the Sephora sale, I'm going to buy something in these mini sizes, because it was so nice to have emergency lip balm. It turns out there's only a few emergency things that I need to have. I need emergency lip balm, I need emergency sunscreen, and honestly, I need emergency concealer and powder. I've been toting around this makeup bag thinking that I would need stuff from it, and I've never needed the emergency eyeliner, I never needed the emergency mascara. All I ever needed was the emergency concealer, and blush, a couple of times. But stuff like sunscreen and lip balm, all the time, just all the time. So yeah, I do want to get some more of the holiday sets just so I can stash minis of lip balm everywhere. And I finally finished the Tokobo. This is also incredible, super heavy, stays on really well. It's just in a pot, and that's yet another reason why Edam wins for me. If you missed me talking about the Edam the first time, I said it actually feels like a lip balm that you would get in a pot, except it's in a tube. It's phenomenal. The Sephora subreddit was right. And this is the last of my empties. This is how I know that we've gone way overboard. How do I have so much just in my empties box? This entire box was supposed to hold everything. But we've been overflowing for ages. So this is masks and all of the acne treatments. Let's do the masks first. The Numbuzzin. Fine, but just too expensive for what they are in my opinion. Rael, sent to me by the brand. I actually bought these. I bought a box originally, the brand sent me more, and I have just got to tell you, these are actually great. The Tea Tree Facial Sheet Mask. I'm gonna add this to my Ulta wish list too, because at that time of the month in particular for me, it is so helpful for me to break some of these out. Remember that tea tree is an essential oil, but it works well for some people. Bouncy Bright Facial from Drunk Elephant. I really enjoyed this, but I'm just stuck in the affordable azelaic acid products, again, because I also want to be able to afford groceries. Don't get me wrong, I actually think they came up with a really smart system if you hate the pilling associated with azelaic acid. But I started thinking about that and I realized, well, why not just apply my $12 azelaic acid serums at night? So what if it peels in the bed? I gotta wash my sheets and pillowcase all the time anyway. Did you see that Good Molecules just came out with not only an azelaic acid serum, but a cleanser? I'm trying to resist the 15% off, but I still might do it. If you haven't seen, there's a 15% off app coupon for Ulta, and that is currently in my cart. Bonjour, the Mugwort Cream Calming Mask. I liked this. I really liked this, but I did feel that it's a little more of a pamper session, whereas ingredients like azelaic acid or adapalene or benzoyl peroxide are a little more focused on the treatment itself. Liked it enough to finish it, which is actually pretty rare for me with masks, but wouldn't repurchase it. And then this, so I wanted to tell you all the Huda masks that I had bought in her Black Friday event last year. Ooh, that should be coming up. It lasted me a decent amount of time, but I pulled on it one night and ripped it. I thought I would rip the other side too, and that was just silly. So these don't last as long as my beloved Experiment mask. I will link you my Experiment mask in the description box below because that one is still going. And then, oh wait, no, one more thing. The Mighty Patch for fine lines. Y'all, these dissolving micro needles, I swear, if you ever actually want to believe in the power of skincare, do this splurge. It's a splurge. You don't need to do it, but it is wild how fast you see results. There's another one that I had just bought from the Urban Outfitters sale. This is the Unwrinkle brand. You know, they say on it, works in one use. Oh, here it is. Results after one use. They aren't kidding. You really see the results from, forcing these dissolving microneedles past the barrier that is your skin. And then look at this. Everything else in this box is acne care because it's just been a rough breakout for me. The Phases. Oh, I want to talk about these. I had stocked up on these, and don't do that. I had a lot of trouble getting these off of the packaging. I had to discard one of them. It was very frustrating. So yes, in case you're wondering, hydrocolloid patches can go bad. I used up the Master Patch Intensive from Cosrx. These are nice. These actually are, they have some salicylic acid and tea tree leaf oil as well. I used up the Mighty Patch sample I got from Ulta, and then I did buy more. That was part of the holiday sets I've already purchased. These were gifted by Rael. These were pretty nice too. I didn't know what to think of retinol in a patch, but it didn't seem to irritate my skin. It just actually did seem to help with clearing up my breakouts faster. And then a couple of these dissolving needle patches with acne ingredients. Acne fighting ingredients, I guess I should say, yeah? I bought these on Yesstyle. They were super inexpensive and they were fine. These, I got some kind of deal on the Sephora website. I was so happy to get it too because, dark spots, definitely difficult to treat. I would say this helped with post-acne marks for me. And again, with ingredients like tranexamic acid and niacinamide, I think that does make sense. The brand is usually a little bit more of an acne care brand, I would say. And one final product the Lion Pair. Mine looks so beat up because the second I finished this, I dropped the lid on my new one and never found it. It went into the void. So I went to my empties box and pulled the lid off of this. Don't judge. Lion Pair is such an incredible anti-inflammatory product. If you deal with acne that is of the inflammatory nature, I think you too will absolutely love this Japanese skincare product. And my friends, that's it. That wraps up yet another Skincare Empties video here on the channel. You know what to do. If you have any thoughts at all, feel free to share them in the comment section below. I hope you all have a most wonderful weekend. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you all next time.